the number to call, 436-1212. If you have a legal question you would like answered, give us a call. We'll try to answer those in the next couple of minutes. We're joined by Morgan O'Hara Gering here today. And Morgan, you are an expert in family law. You do a lot of things along those lines. Yes. Unfortunately, divorce has become a pretty common part of our society. If people are contemplating divorce or going through divorce, what are some key points they need to know while they're going through that?
Well, people often ask how long a divorce is going to last. Mm-hmm. That's a very commonly asked question that we get at our office. And it really depends on the situation, but in Kansas, there's a 60-day waiting period for any divorce. So if anybody files a divorce, there's a 60 days that you have to wait unless there's some sort of an emergency. Mm-hmm. But generally speaking, everyone has to wait 60 days, and that's the earliest that you could finalize a divorce. But each case is different. There's different issues. Some people are there's arguments about custody. Sometimes those cases can last a lot longer. And so there's a lot of different things that are pertinent to each case and that are individual for each case that depends upon how long a case can last.
If you do have children and there's a battle over custody, does the divorce not get finalized till after the youngest child is 18, or can it be finalized before then?
That's a good question. Yeah. Again, it depends on the case.
Okay.
But yes, it can be. Normally they're finalized when the parents reach an agreement. But sometimes divorces can get finalized. A divorce can be finalized and people can argue about custody later on. And in the legal world, we call that a bifurcation of a divorce. So people can get divorced and then you can argue about other issues later.
Okay.
Sometimes, because sometimes custody cases can last, unfortunately, up to a year or even longer, depending on the case. So sometimes people get divorced before they finalize custody issues.
And when is it legal to get remarried? Just right after the divorce is finalized? Could you do it an hour afterward, or would you have to wait a longer period?
I believe the waiting period is that there's a 30-day waiting period that allows people, if they wanted to file an appeal on the divorce, they can do that. And then after that waiting period is over for someone to file an appeal, then you can get remarried.
Right. And so if people are entering into a marriage, I mean, obviously a prenup would change things too, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Right.
If people have a prenup, then you go through some of the issues that are involved in a prenuptial agreement, and there's different laws that are surrounding that. So if people have signed a prenuptial agreement, a lot of times that can make a divorce much easier, because you know what you're going to get out of it, and it kind of depends on how detailed it is. But if one party wants to try to fight the prenuptial agreement and try to claim it's invalid, then you've got a whole different fight on your hands as to whether or not it's a valid contract.
In any case, you should probably get a lawyer if you can.
Absolutely,
yes. To help you sort through all of those details and make things a whole lot more clear for you. Thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate your insight on that topic right there. We're going to take a short break.